The following non-nominated, non-award-winning program is rated D for dumb.
The following podcast is rated D for dumb. You're listening to Dumbing It Down with Dave, the fastest podcast on earth. Listen to Dave commute to and from work on the New York State Thruway in his 2008 Kia Rio LX. He talks about pragmatism, truth, happiness, and the search for it all. Join Dave as he asks and tells you how life ought to be. And now, here's Dave.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Dumbing It Down with Dave. Are you ready to dumb it down with me? All right, sounds good. Let's dumb it down together. It's really not that hard. I do the talking, you do the listening, and if you choose to, you can engage with the show. If you're listening on Spreaker, you know, Spreaker has the chat boxes. You definitely are more than welcome to engage with the show via the Spreaker chat box. If you are if you are not and you are somewhere else, you can always check us out on Facebook at the Dumbing It Down with Dave Facebook group. There's a Facebook page and there's a Facebook group. How do you find it? Well, you go on Facebook and you put in Dumbing It Down with Dave Facebook group. I'm also at Twitter at Dumb with Dave, and my email is dumbingitdownwithdave@yahoo.com. So pretty much anywhere you type in Dumbing It Down with Dave, you'll find me. I'm also on Instagram, and we're there. We're everywhere. We're Twitter. We're all over. So anyway, and right now where we are south of Castleton, New York. We are actually, I just passing a sign saying Stuyvesant, New York. I'm on a road called 9G. I think it's 9G. Could be 9J, but I think it's 9G. It's one of those alternate nines. You know, we have a main 9. We have 9W. And then there's Route 9. This is 9G. And I'm running parallel with the Hudson River coming south from Rensselaer. I was just at a little meeting with my job. And so I'm headed south, parallel with the Hudson River, parallel with Amtrak, which just drove right by me. You know, it's always kind of exciting when you go down the road. All of a sudden, here comes this big train, you know, with the train noise and all that. And I'm like, wow, pretty powerful, pretty fast. It's always impressive to see Amtrak. It's a very beautiful part. I'm always talking highly about New York State, upstate New York, and almost anywhere in the Northeast. I love this country, and I love the Northeast. I love New York. 9J. I'm just passing a sign that says 9J. So it's not 9G, it's 9J. And so I'm in Stuyvesant and running along the Hudson River, and it's beautiful. The view of the western shore of New York State on the other side of the Hudson River is beautiful. This side is beautiful. And it's just very peaceful. It's a back road. I love taking back roads as much as I can, as opposed to the thruway. Normally I'm on the thruway, but today I was on this side. I said, you know what? I'm just going to make a quick right turn and head down this back road 9J. So that's it. You know, that's Dumbing It Down with Dave. I record it live. Obviously I'm here live. And you're riding shotgun. That's what you're doing. You're riding shotgun with me in my 2008 Kia Rio LX. You know, it's like a fancy version. Some people might have gotten the Rio. I got the LX. I never really knew what that stood for, but whatever. Extra luxury, luxury. LX for luxury. So I love it. I love this car. I like this car. This car has done well for me. And let's do a quick mileage report because let's get it out of the way. We're going to do a mileage report and the weather report because I'm mobile. Some people do their shows in the studio. I don't. I do it in my car. This is episode, I think, 324. And 99% of my episodes have been done in this Kia Rio. Sometimes I'm in the Dodge Caravan. I might have been in one other car once or twice. But for the most part, I'm driving while I'm podcasting. So you're listening to a Dumbcast in a carcast in a podcast. It's 3-in-1. And it's all for the same price. You get bonus content. There you go. You thought you were just going to listen to some boring show. No. So here we go. Fancy schmancy. All right. The mileage report for the 2008 Kia Rio LX on February, I think it's 7th, 2024 is 324,910 miles. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you, band. I really appreciate that. 324,910 miles. Getting closer to 325. In 90 miles, I'll be at 325,000. I never thought I'd see the day where I would own any car with that much mileage, much less this Kia Rio. And the weather report. Let's do the weather report real quick. And because, here I am. I'm mobile. I'm live while I'm recording. I'm recording while I'm live or whatever. It is, believe it or not, I cannot believe it. It's the majority of the time I do a weather report to start off the show. I got to tell you, it's 38 degrees outside, but it is a beautiful sunny day in upstate New York. How is that possible? So many beautiful days. So much of the country seems to be in chaos with rain and snow and ice and fire. But, I say this all the time. One of these days, I'm going to torture an intern, and I'm going to make them go through episode 0. I did have a couple of preview shows, and all the way up to 324, and kind of keep track of all the times I give the weather report and what I say. 99% of the time in New York State, it is a beautiful, beautiful sunny day, and just enough of white clouds to make it kind of fun. Those beautiful clouds, and of course, you're driving down southbound on this back road 9J, and you're running alongside the Hudson River. It's everything. It's all I want in life, really. Not all, but it's a big part of my life. I love just driving in my Kia. I don't need a fancy car, but when I'm driving a truck or I used to ride a motorcycle. It's these private, they seemingly private roads, private drives, and sometimes I'll drive with the classical music on. Sometimes I'll listen to a podcast, but it's just nice to have that solitude and that peace of mind, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. All right, good icebreaker, good weather report and mileage report. We got that out of the way. So today is Wednesday. Is it? Yes. I was supposed to do this episode Friday on the way home, which would have been I think February 1st or something like that. But I didn't do it. Something came up. I don't know why. I forget what it was. But it doesn't matter. And I did an episode a couple of weeks ago called Weigh-Ins on Fridays Only. All right? That would have been episode 322. Weigh-Ins are on Friday only. WEIGH. And I don't remember what I told you when I weighed that day. I think it was 260 pounds. So that was on January 19th. So here it is 2 weeks later, right? Next Friday after the January 19th would have been the 26th, and the one after would have been this past Friday, which would have been like February 1st or something like that, maybe February 2nd. I can't remember. But I didn't do an episode that day, but I did do a weigh-in. So let's do a weigh-in. I don't have any music for it. Let's do a weigh-in, and then I'll play that celebratory music. And I'm doing a weigh-in because Dave's Fit Life is my YouTube alter ego. And if you've been listening to the last couple episodes, Dumbing It Down with Dave have sort of made a lateral move. There's a crossover. On TV they do these crossovers between the Law and Orders or whatever shows. They're doing these crossovers. So we're going to do a little crossover. Dave's Fit Life can come in to Dumbing It Down with Dave, but Dumbing It Down with Dave will never go over to Dave's Fit Life. It's just two different shows. It's just the way Dumbing It Down with Dave is. We can do almost anything we want, but Dave's Fit Life can only do Dave's Fit Life. And so I did a weigh-in. I started at 297 pounds. I've been talking about going carnivore, that I've been strictly 100% carnivore. All meats, fatty meats, no veggies, no sugar, no carbs, no anything, nothing that wasn't once an animal. If it was once an animal, I can eat it. Or part of an animal, or something that an animal produces, like dairy. But otherwise, I'm not eating it. I've only been eating meat. And I tell you, folks, I've been eating like a king, and I feel like an Olympian. I feel great. So, the weigh-in that I did about 5 days ago was down from 297, right? And I think the original weigh I did back in episode 322, was 260 pounds. This past Friday, I got on the scale, and I was 253.6 pounds. That would be a 6.4 difference. Yeah! Weight loss! Whoop-dee-doo. Listen. That's a hell of a band. I give it the cut signal if you don't know. You know, the thing is, it's not about the weight loss. I know that listeners, people like to know. They look at you and they go, oh, how much weight have you lost? They never say to you, here's what they never say to you. Oh, look at that. How many inches have you lost around your waist? How much have you lowered your blood pressure? How's your A1C? Or any of those questions. How's your cardio? How's your endurance? How's your mental clarity? There's so much more to being fit than your weight. The weight is a number. I do that. I do the weight only because I know people like it. Otherwise, but I wish I was tougher. And like, in other words, I don't care what the people want, right? I can't say that, right? But in a way, I want to say, I don't care what the people want. I don't care about the weight because I know, pragmatically speaking, you know, that's the subtitle of the show, pragmatism, truth, happiness, and the search for it all. And all of those categories, right, pragmatism, truth, and happiness, should not be based, should have nothing to do, and weight should have nothing to do with any of that, and none of that should have anything to do with the weight. It's just a number. And people say, yeah, but it's an indication. Okay, it could be an indication, but we all know that people are healthy and ill at all different weights, right? The lighter you are doesn't mean the healthier you are. It just means you're lighter. You could be malnourished and be lighter. You could be obese, you know, and heavier and not be healthier. Of course, there's so many different measurements, but the weight is really not the number one measurement. And I don't like doing it. I like measuring my health by my activity level, by my mental clarity. Blood pressure, yeah, I guess. You know, if your blood pressure is too high, it could be pretty dangerous. It's an indication of your blood going in and I guess out of your aorta and stuff like that, and your ventricles or whatever it is. I'm not an expert on it, but I like the idea of measuring my activity levels. So, for instance, this morning, I went to the gym. I went to a boxing gym, and I boxed 4 rounds. I don't spar. I have a trainer. He has mitts. So, he calls out the punches or whatever he wants me to do. Right hook, left hook, straight, uppercut, whatever. And he's teaching me the techniques, the proper techniques of boxing, which I love. I love disciplines. I want to spend the rest of my life. People say, "What do you want if you won the $1 million lottery? What would you do for the rest of the life?" Now I'm entering Stockport, by the way. If you're following me on the map of 9J, I just left Stuyvesant and I'm entering Stockport. We went from Rensselaer to Castleton to Stuyvesant to Stockport. I think eventually we'll be in Hudson and then Catskill. So I would like to spend the rest of my life, if I won the lottery and I didn't have to work, just mastering disciplines. I love the idea of mastering disciplines, all different disciplines, not just athletic, but musical. Like I love to play the piano. I love to learn how to play the piano. I'd love to be able to sit down and just start tinkling away at the ivory, tickling the ivories, and just being able to come up with something. Farajaka, Three Blind Mice, Hot Cross Buns, all the same song. But I'd like to be able to do that. I'd like to have. I don't ever anticipate being a composer, right? I don't anticipate, playing complicated piano tunes. But I'd like to be able to sit there and understand and then grow. I know that's exactly what I'd like to do. Just have the opportunity for growth. And I think, and I know, that is a huge problem in this country. So now we're going to get slightly, into dumbing it down with Dave, or maybe more than slightly, and away from Dave's Fit Life. So the boxing, I'll do 4 rounds, right? 12 minutes, 3 minutes a round. You get a 1 minute break in between. I did 800 jump ropes. That's pretty good for me. My previous record during this whole carnivore thing was about 500, 600. So I did 800 today. I try to do 100 at a time. It isn't always easy to do 100 consecutive jump ropes, but I can, and I've done it. And I'm getting much better, and I'm breathing much less harder. So my return on investment is really great on my jumping rope. At some point, I'm going to be able to do 100 consecutively all the time, no problem. Then it'll go to 125, and then 150, and so on and so forth. I'm just going to keep on going until I'm doing it for 3 minutes. Because when you're at this gym, they have this thing that goes. It's like it's constant. There's a ding and like a beginning of a round, a boxing round. So now you have 3 minutes, and then you'll hear the next ding will be like up 30 seconds left, and then you hear another ding, and then that means you got your minute break. So a 3 minute round has occurred, and that goes. This is machine just plays constantly. Ding, and then 2.5 minutes later, ding, and then 30 seconds later, ding, and then you get a minute break, and then it goes back again. So I'd like to eventually jump for the entire 3 minutes. I don't know how many jump ropes I can do in 3 minutes, probably a couple hundred, but I'd like to be able to do that. That would be the next goal. You'll be hearing me talk about that later. So I did the 4 rounds, 12 minutes, 800 jump rope, and then after that I do crunches. I do these crunches on the bench. I lay down on the bench and I lift my legs into my stomach, and that's pretty good. And then I do some weightlifting. I do these different types of weightlifting. It's not heavy weights. It's only 10 pounds right now, but what I'm doing with these 10 pounds, believe me, you think it's light, but after a while you circle your arms this way, you do your arms that way, and it gets a little hard. But I started with 5, and I'm already up to 10 in the last couple of weeks. And then I get on the treadmill and I run a 5K. I did 3.1 miles. So that's pretty good for me, considering once upon a time, a couple of months ago, I could barely run 100 feet or whatever, and walking was very difficult because my belly was so huge. I was bringing my belly everywhere I went. It's like carrying a wheelbarrow of fat, a full wheelbarrow with more hanging over the side of fat. It's really hard. But now I'm 44 pounds lighter, so everything's feeling great. Then I drink water and I stretch. I do a really good stretch for like 10 minutes, and then I'm done. It's a really great workout. And I think part of the problem, as I started to say before, was that in this country, we are not mastering disciplines anymore. The youth of America is not interested in mastering disciplines, whatever it is, even if it's just fishing or hunting, or the skill of writing, or public speaking, or the music part of it, the instruments, playing anything electronic is fine. You can play electronic music, I don't care, but to actually learn all the notes on a guitar or on a keyboard, on a piano, to know all these different rhythms and stuff like that. It's the violin, the cello, the bass. It's a lost art. It seems like I feel like there's less and less of the youth playing actual instruments, acoustic and or otherwise instruments. And so anyway, did I mention fencing? Did I mention all these other things? Sports. Kids playing as much soccer as they were. Soccer was growing forever. And have they taken a hit? I don't know. Football, Pee-wee, Little League, all that stuff. But the youth of America, I don't know if they're out there. I don't know what they're doing. I know there was a big video game movement for the longest time. Is the pendulum swinging the other way? I don't know. But I think it has a lot to do. I know it has a lot to do. Movement, breathing, learning, growth, proper nutrition. These are things that can really change the world. That's why I think the lower income people, the lower income children have such a tough time in life for a lot of reasons. They grow up in these families with a lot of issues. They live in an environment that has issues. School is a problem for them, education, all that stuff. But when you don't have the opportunity, the simple, I guess part of me wants to say God-given right. I think it is. It could be a God-given right to explore and to learn and to grow and to get stronger and to get more resourceful and all of the things. When you're deprived of that, it's no wonder so much of the country ends up in jail or, in poor health or whatever they do that isn't the positive part of life. The part of life that you're enjoying right now, the positive part of life, that you get to take 30 minutes out of your day and listen to this podcast. My crowd is a little bit of an older crowd, and a lot of them a lot of you guys listening are actually podcasters. So you've had that opportunity to express yourself creatively. A lot of people don't have that opportunity, or they've lost that. Of course, everybody has the opportunity. Everybody has the God-given right to explore the creativity or explore anything. But there's a lot of circumstances that people are born into, and they don't get to that. And I'd like to say that part of Dumbing It Down with Dave, in collaboration with Dave's Fit Life, is to change things, to be a little bit of an activist, to sort of explore the opportunity to get more people involved in life, to get more people to do things like, eating better, like breathing better, like working out and mastering disciplines, and just so many different things that they can do better in life. They can just have a more enjoyable life. I mean, if you have a more enjoyable life, you're going to have a better life. Life that doesn't involve too much strife or strife at all, or hardships, or no more extra hardships than you should have. It's everybody is going to go through something, but if you can go through less of something, that would be great. And I've been very fortunate in the last couple of years. I've been going through less of things. My mom passed, my dad passed, and now here I am. I'm pretty much, my wife and I are just, we're doing our thing, which is great. My son is an adult, and I don't really have to worry about him. I do. I don't have to. And my job is doing fine, and I'm fortunate enough to enjoy a seasonal layoff, and I've been working out and, accomplishing things. It's amazing what you can do when you have the opportunity to do nothing or to do a little bit of something. And I'm doing a little bit of something. And it's really fantastic. I'm truly enjoying it. And, I could do nothing. I could just sit on the couch. I really could. I could just sit on the couch and do nothing. Just watch TV all day. Just watch Persons of Interest on demand, which I've been doing. All these other great little miniseries. I've just been watching Mr. and Mrs. Smith with Donald Glover and his co-star, a woman named Maya. I don't know her last name, or Inerski or something like that. I can't remember her last name. It doesn't matter. Inerska, I can't remember. But her first name is Maya. Great show, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Sort of a reimagining or reboot from the movie that was made with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie years ago. So I guess the message in this particular episode of Dumbing It Down with Dave, the rant, whatever you want to call it, this thing that I'm doing, with the message of pragmatism, truth, happiness, the search for it all, the message of hope, is that everybody should have this opportunity. I think everybody does when you're born. Especially if you're born into a good situation. If you're born into a bad situation, then you might not experience this. And I feel bad for all those children. I feel terrible for all those children. And I'm disappointed in the United States government. I'm going to say it. I'm disappointed, not just because it's Joe Biden, not because of him at all, but I am disappointed in the fact that here it is. We've been around for over 200 some odd years, right? 1776, whatever. However you want to refer to it. 2 more years, it'll be 250 years. Wow. I'm disappointed that the government and all these corporations haven't worked together to figure it out. Like, how are we going to make things better? How are we going to make people happier and healthier and wealthier? How are we going to do it? We haven't figured that out yet. We really haven't figured it out. I think the reason why we haven't figured it out is because there isn't enough will to want to figure it out. These guys are all about, selfishness and greed and power. The government, the corporations. And you know what? This is why things aren't getting done. Not for the better. Yeah, technology has improved, but of course it's going to improve technology. Technology is in a constant state of growth. I just wish the people of the United States were enjoying a constant rate of growth at the same rate of technology. I think technology has superseded, is that the word I want? Has surpassed, I think that might be more the word I want. It has surpassed humans. There's more technology than humans know what to do with. It's beyond a lot of people's comprehension, and it's passed a lot of people by. Listen, a lot of people can't text. You can't just simply text. A lot of people just can't email. But it's not just that there's a lot of older people, for the most part, they don't know these things. It's that the technology has gone from, the wheel, which I think back in the day we were pretty good with that. Like, the wheel. Fire. Oh, yeah, we're all now enjoying fire and the wheel. And, we know how to make a brick or whatever, cook or kill, and eat. So for a while there, everybody was doing good. Everybody had equal access. I'd assume everybody had equal access to the wheel and equal access to fire. Maybe that's the point of what I'm trying to say, that it seems like the access and the distribution is uneven. And a lot of people that don't have access. And that is frustrating. And this is what is part of the reason why we have this disturbance. It's an uneven distribution of everything in the United States. And I wish I could do more about it. I wish I could do anything. All I can do is this podcast and talk about it and maybe open up your mind to the possibilities that you haven't thought of this. You haven't, wait a minute. Yeah, he's right. 2024, you mean all these multi-million-dollar corporations, they haven't figured out, along with the government, how to make children healthier, how to make children smarter, how to make them happier, how to give them the opportunity to learn disciplines, to experience that feel-good feeling, that warm, fuzzy feeling where you go, oh, wow, I can do this. When you learn how to ride a bike, when you learn how to roller skate, when you learn how to cook an egg without, burning the pan or whatever. All these things, we take it for granted. Think about, I did an episode recently. I think it was the last episode, as a matter of fact. Yeah, the last episode was Getting Past the Quit, number 323, Getting Past the Quit. So, here's my next episode, I guess. I don't know what I'm going to title this. I haven't thought about it yet. But other than Getting Past the Quit, right, which, Linda, you did a great job. Thank you for, I should read your comments. You had some really great comments. I'll do that in the next episode. I don't want to hit the button right now because let me see if I can do it. Hold on. Oh, it looks like it's recording. Yeah, there it goes. All right, great. Fantastic. We're back. I took a chance. I paused it, and then I went to somewhere else. Let me see. Let's read Linda's comments, all right? Linda did a great job. Talking about getting past the quit. Sorry it took me 2 days to get over here. No problem, Linda. I spent a couple of days accompanying somebody who was traveling out of state. She's home now. What would I like to quit? Some days, everything. I understand, Linda. I understand. Linda says, I quit 2 marriages. I quit a few jobs. I quit Twitter. I quit LinkedIn. I quit Unseen World while I'm on Facebook. I don't know what that is. I quit posting on my timeline. I quit Stage 32. I quit Vidly. And there are more social media all over the years I've quit too because it quit serving me. I totally get all that. Totally get all that, Linda. These are choices that you needed to make, and you made it, and you're probably better for it. I have no regrets over anything I quit. I felt relieved when I quit, free from the obligation that was more negative than positive. Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally get that. Yeah. And then she says, I think your mechanic did quit on you. Yes, I understand. Yeah, because I was talking about how he won't fix my fuel tank. Although I found somebody else that I'm going to bring my car to. The Kia is going to somebody tomorrow. They're going to look at that fuel tank and see if it's worth salvaging. And Linda also says, I decide on my quitting when it occurs to me that what I am doing is not worth it anymore. And then I just quit. Absolutely, Linda. Totally get it. All right, so this episode, let's maybe talk about what we can do. I think, am I at 30 minutes? Oh, all right, so we'll go past 30 minutes. It's okay. What's the opposite of quitting? What are the things you'd like to explore? For me, it's always like everything, all the disciplines, piano, fencing, go-kart racing. I'd like to get my license and be a drag racer in the NHRA. Skydiving, is that a discipline? I think it is. I like to do more creative writing. I like to do better podcasting, better YouTubing, camera work, audio and video editing. Oh my God. I'd love to master audio and video editing. That is totally something I like to do. I've been doing a lot of cooking. I like to cook. I've been cooking on this carnivore. I've been cooking a lot of steak. So, yeah, that's a good discipline. You know, carpentry. Oh my God. I hate the fact that I'm not a good carpenter. I'm not a carpenter at all. I hate the fact that I'm not a mechanic. You know, I can do certain things, but I can't do most things. Not heavy duty things. You know, I like to do at least small engine repair. So when my lawnmower conks out, you know, I'm good to go. Or my snowblower. Like this winter, I haven't been able to get my snowblower going. So yeah, driving. I've mastered driving. You know, truck driving and all that other stuff. But you know, I like driving on my terms. You know, it's not so much my company's terms, but it is what it is. So, do I want to learn how to fly? You know, I think everybody thinks about, I want to learn how to fly. Flying a helicopter, I think, would be cool. Or one of those mini helicopters. That would be kind of cool, like a one-seater. Snowboarding, I did a couple of years ago. I'd like to snowboard some more again. I like the physical disciplines. I'm doing boxing right now. I love the idea of mastering the art of boxing, right? And I'd like to get in the ring. I'd like to have an amateur fight. I don't care if I'll have a professional fight. I don't really care. I got nothing to lose except my brains, right, and my teeth, my consciousness. What do I have to lose? So I'm sure the list is longer. I think we could all. I'd like to see a lot of people who tell me, you know, by the way, all you folks that tell me that you listen to the show, but you didn't have time to engage. I mean, really. I mean, you know, you can't just hit the microphone button and talk into it and just, you know, let the spelling go the way it goes. Hey, Dave, this is Joe, and I've been listening. Thank you. Hey, Dave, like, it's amazing to me how many people tell me they listen to the show, but they don't engage. You know, because I'm busy, I'm at work. Listen, you know what? I've been busy, and I've engaged with your shows quite plenty. It's not hard. You know it's not hard. You're sitting on the toilet, you whip out your phone, you hit the microphone button, you just start talking. But, yeah, you know, that's the way people are, right? They're, you know, whatever. I want to say the word selfish, and I want to say the word depleters. But let's not go down that road. You know, just because I support you doesn't mean you have to support me. It's just interesting when you hear the excuses. You know, the excuses are amazing. But that's not what this episode was about. This episode was about the opposite of quitting. You know, growth. All that stuff. What makes you feel good? Now, if I have a beer, I'm happy. You know, well, what is it that you enjoy doing and you love learning? Or what is it that you haven't learned that you'd love to learn? You know, it's totally the opposite of quitting. There could be way more than one thing. What have you done that you like my mom's years ago when I hit it? We're going into the 30 minutes big time here. Years ago, I was on a school field trip to the Museum of Natural History in New York City, and I bought my mother a cactus. I had a couple of dollars. They let you go to the gift shop, and I bought my mother a cactus. That's how much I loved my mother. I said, I got it for her. I didn't get it for me. You know, I knew she had a green thumb, so I got her. I think I knew. Anyway, her green thumb wasn't as green then, but, you know, I was 6. This is 54 years ago. And I got her a nub. It's a little nub, like a button. I got a little nub of a cactus. And she took care of that cactus. And she grew that cactus until it became that big monster in that movie, whatever that movie's called. Little Shop of Horrors. Oh, thank God I remember that. Yeah, like it became this big thing. I mean, really, it was several feet tall. I would have kept it for the rest of my life, but my father took the liberty of throwing it out. Ugh. That was a bad thing he did. Anyway, yeah, so I'd love to have a green thumb, but that's what my mother did. That's what I'm talking about. The opposite of quitting is, something to take care of yourself or a plant or a person or an art, something. I'm curious. You want to paint? You want to learn how to paint by numbers? You want to, you want to do mosaic? Do you want to learn? Do you want to study something? You want to get a degree? I'm really curious. I want to do everything. There's almost nothing I don't want to do for the rest of my life. And one of the themes of Dave's Fit Life moving forward, and dumbing it down with Dave to a certain extent, is I want to live the next 30 years, not my last 30 years, which they probably will be, but my next 30 years like I should have lived my first 30 years. Learning, growing, doing. And I really hope it happens. So far, so good. These last couple of months have been amazing. Really, really, truly amazing. Well, listen, you got an extended episode this week. You got 6, 7, 8 extra minutes beyond my 30 minutes. And that's how we roll here at Dumbing It Down with Dave. We hit the button, we start talking, and we don't stop until we're done. And I'm done. That was good. I really enjoyed doing that. I'm glad I did it. And I'm going to do another episode in a couple of days. We got to weigh in on Fridays. Weigh-ins are on Fridays only. But we didn't just do Dave's Fit Life. We did a Dumbing It Down with Dave, but it was kind of a Dave's Fit Life too, which is fine. There are no rules here when it comes to podcasting. There's no rules for Dumbing It Down with Dave. Just to pragmatism, truth, happiness, and the search for it all. I think I answered all my questions. I think I stayed on track. I didn't go down rabbit trails I couldn't remember. And another episode, I did not yawn. No yawning. I stopped yawning. I'm not tired anymore. When I'm tired and I yawn, at the appropriate time of the day, which is usually and hopefully normally right before bed, right before I go to sleep. I should be yawning. And it's good to be on a car ride in the Kia coming down from Rensselaer after working out. I've been up since 4:30 this morning. It is now 1 o'clock, so I've been up for 8.5 hours. Yeah, 8.5 hours, 1 o'clock. So it's been a full day so far, and I really enjoyed doing this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, Twitter at Dumb with Dave, email dumbingitdownwithdave@yahoo.com, Facebook group, Dumbing It Down with Dave Facebook group, and of course here at the Spreaker chat box. And let me know if you're listening on another platform. I'd appreciate that. For those of you who are willing to take the time, the strenuous, arduous effort you put into engaging with me. I know it's so hard. To type, to talk into a microphone. So difficult. But let me know if you're listening on a platform other than Spreaker. I am curious. I see it in the statistics. I'm just curious if you could write that. But if you were listening on another platform other than Spreaker, then I guess you wouldn't be typing in the Spreaker chat box. So you'll have to contact me another way. Like I said, Dumbing It Down with Dave Facebook group, Dumbing It Down with Dave at yahoo.com, or Twitter at Dumb with Dave. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And that's it. There's no fancy sign off. I just say thank you for listening, and have a good life. Have a good day. Have a good night. Take care. Bye.